I can't believe the tank talk in the city of Pitt. Like, this is the city of champions.
There's tank talk?
That's all there was for 2 months.
About our team?
About buddy. The entire media. It was all the same until Aaron Rodgers signed. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, Steelers Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah.
No, you losers were just talking about tanking. I don't want to hear you flip your script. But when I said tanking is for losers, the Steelers shouldn't tank, well, everybody was going at me. You don't know what you're talking about. Well, okay, do I know what I'm talking about now? Because now you're saying they're in the Super Bowl window now.
Yeah.
The city of champions and the media members talk about tanking. Oh, the Pens should tank. Well, the Pirates have been tanking for 20 years. Why hasn't?
Yeah. Here we go. We're going to get him going again. All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Christian Kuntz Podcast. I'm here with my boys Trey and Jesse. Swing behind the boards. It finally feels like we're back now. Like, I don't know. I feel like I was back at Latrobe. We stockpiled a couple episodes. Right. We got the whole team here. We're joined by a very special guest, a man that is known by the Whipio Insider, Karlo Zovko. Let's give it up for Karlo.
Thanks for having me today, gentlemen. Very, very excited to get the text. Hey, you want to come on the pod? I said, boy, do I. So
yes.
Very happy to be up.
We know. Karlo and I know, obviously, you know Trey from Pitt days.
Mm-hmm.
Karlo and I go way back. You know, he has all these ratings, Whipio Insider, and it's blown up. And I would be the first to say that when he started Whipio Insider, I was right there and I made fun of him.
I'm going to be honest. I made fun of myself when I made Whipio Insider, for sure.
We were in a Duquesne dorm. I mean, we were down the hall from each other.
Yep.
He told me this idea, and we had a bunch of Whipio guys around us, and we literally made fun of him. And now, like, Whipio Insider, he's the Whipio Insider. It's great.
It's one of those snowball things. When I made Whipio Insider with our friend Nick Leonello.
Shout out Nello.
Shout out Nello, the man. You know, the goal was to get, like, we thought we were getting 11 followers. Like, we literally made it because everybody was like, why are you guys still tweeting about high school football and recruiting? Like, nobody cares we're in college now. No, I care about Pennsylvania high school football. So in order for our friends to keep following us, we said, fine, we'll tweet on another page. Started Whipio Insider. We started as like a semi-joke. Yeah. And it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And it was like one of those things that was like fake it until you make it type of deal. Wow. And it ended up, working out pretty well. I enjoy doing it.
You know, you do hold a record. You're not just a Whipio Insider. You're not just the guy behind the computer tweeting, recruit me. Mm-hmm. You know, Karlo's very knowledgeable about football. We know that. I will give you that. Karlo.
Much appreciated.
Karlo knows his football. X's and O's. We work together at Duquesne. But there's a big bone I have to pick with you. And I've heard a rumor, and I had to make a couple calls on the way up here that freshman year, Karlo's working our video and stuff, and I'm a walk-on at Duquesne. He had me bottom of the barrel. They asked Karlo for his opinion, and he said he stinks. Is that true? That's what I heard. I heard from Dory. I'm just going to bust.
No, that absolutely.
I heard he said he stinks. He's from Char Valley. Didn't play his senior year, injury prone. He stinks, blah, blah, blah.
I remember them asking me, and I can remember being like, I don't even know who that is. I don't think he played. But I also remember, I think it was like day 2 or day 3 at camp, because you went on, you were a walk-on, really. They just kind of brought you on. I can remember Mike Craig, who I think was the linebacker coach at the time.
Correct. Back at Pitt.
Now he's back at Pitt. I remember him walking in and being like, this Christian Kuntz kid is for real. You had like 2 picks, like 3 consecutive
days. I picked off Sean Patterson.
Yes, you did. He's like, this Kuntz kid is for real. Like, we got to start looking at this kid. And that was the first time I was like, the freshman from Char Valley who didn't play? And then you ended up starting the first game ever. And
Dominion.
Boy, did you have a game there.
No, it was a good game, but we ended up losing 50-something. We got
boy, we gave him a game for that first half.
Listen, speaking of big games, Duquesne Pitt, you have skin in the game on both sides. You're a loyal Duquesne guy.
Very, very loyal Duquesne guy. Very proud Duquesne Duke. But, I worked at Pitt and Pat Narduzzi for 6 or 7 years. And here's my problem. Because normally I would just root for Duquesne. But if Pitt and Coach Dews lose this game, like, that's like hot seat.
Why would you even put that in the air?
Well, because this
put that shit in the air.
Hear what I'm saying. Like I'm a Duke through and through, and people are like, there's no way you can root for Pitt. I'm like, well, I love that staff at Pitt. Those are my guys. I grew up a Pitt fan, so I might do the Jim Tressel at the game. I might wear Duquesne over here and Pitt over here, like he did with Youngstown and Ohio State.
Right.
So, I don't know what I hope Duquesne gives them a game for a half, and then Pitt wins semi-comfortably.
Give him a quarter. I'll give him a quarter.
A half would be great. A great half.
You give him a quarter. Yeah.
A quarter.
Yeah.
And I love Coach, man. Don't get it twisted. Like, I love Coach. We had a coach on, like, Coach is a
Yeah,
top dude.
Great dude.
I give you a quarter. Yeah, I got to talk my stuff now. I get my ass whooped on this show every single time.
Oh, he does. He does. This is like his ultimate revenge. We get the West Virginia guys on.
Well,
they talk shit to Trey.
I brought up, when I was coming out here for the podcast, I called some people. I said, hey, do I go on the Christian Kuntz pod and just slam Penn State and West Virginia the whole time? I mean, I feel like Trey gets beat up pretty.
Thank you. I don't appreciate it.
So, I'm not opposed. Not opposed.
He does. Well, we don't want to get you go. We have multiple people text us and say, don't get him going. Especially about the Pirates.
I'm very easy to get going. Yeah, the Pirates, I don't even know what to say about the Pirates. I mean, you talk about a loser organization. They just don't want to win. Like, all our guys get traded or signed free agent elsewhere, and then all of a sudden they're these all-stars starting in World Series, starting in the playoffs. It's a cultural problem.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It has to be.
Yeah. I don't know much about baseball and the managers and what they have to go through, so I can't really speak on it, but it's definitely... There's an issue.
There's a serious issue.
There's got to be an issue. And I know the trade came out with, the Keebron Hayes and who else did we trade? Bailey Falter, who was pitching well. And they said that they had a better offer on the table.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't understand how you justify that.
Coming from personnel, I think they always take the best offer on the table. And the GM bragged about it. He's like, actually, he said this to the media. It wasn't like it was like leaked. He was like, actually, we had a couple better offers, but you did?
I don't know why you would say that.
You didn't take them?
Yeah. They said Skeens, there's rumors that we are going to sign him. So I don't, but the thing is with that.
Pay him enough.
Well, the thing is with that, even if we do and everything, I hope that means we build around it. You know what I mean? Like, because if we have him and he just rots away.
I look at it, you have a 2-year window.
Yeah.
And you got to win with them now. And this was supposed to be a year like, hey, you get to the playoffs and build. Mm-hmm. Well, you just wasted that. So you got a 2-year window left. And, they're still trading for prospects, for single-A prospects. Like, single-A prospects,
right?
That's not in the 2-year window. We have schemes for 2 years. So, I don't know. Maybe they're playing Moneyball and we're unaware. But
I hope.
I don't know. I've grown up, and I've only seen 3 winning Pirate seasons. So, I don't know.
Those were the best years.
And they were unbelievable on the dorm and the wing. Yeah. Oh, my God.
When we were down, we would go down to freaking Tads.
Yep. Oh, Tads was great.
Always be playing on a Tuesday.
R.I.P. Tads.
Tads is a good spot.
Yep.
$3 shots.
Yeah.
It's a good spot.
Yeah.
I want to talk
really good.
I want to talk about the Whipio Insider and who are the sleeper teams from single A to 6A.
Okay.
Give me I need Karlo Zovko. I need the Whipio Insider breakdown on who are the teams to look out for in the Whipio. Who are the players, big time players? Like, I know the kid from Fort Cherry last year that went to Penn State.
Oh yeah, he's still there.
He's still at Fort Cherry.
Oh yeah, he's a senior. He's gonna break every
shit.
single Whipio record there is.
Okay, so I need to know about those kind of players because those are the guys I like to look out for.
Yeah. So here's my biggest thing with the Whipio Insider, and people give me a lot of flack for this. I can cover it 1A to 6A. I can speak 1A ball the same way I speak 6A ball. And I give the same amount of shine to all the 1A and 6A players. That's not to say that I think, the D1 kid is worse than the 1A kid because he has more stats. You're just giving shine to the players because, at Springdale, at Jefferson Morgan, at Riverview, at Riverside, those people care about high school football just as much as Central Catholic and North Allegheny and Pine Richland. Oh, yeah. If not more. I mean, because sometimes you got to be a complete diehard to go to some of these games, So, I'm going to give a shout out to Jefferson Morgan. They won the conference for the first time last year in 10 years. They're easily the worst conference in all of Whipio football. They're 1A Tri-County South. They have a kid, Deacon DeHoet.
Love the name.
Who, this kid, I've seen him at about 4 different prospect camps. He runs a 4.6 consistently. He's about 6'3", receiver, goes up and gets it. I'm like, if this kid's at Pine Richland, he's probably getting a couple other looks. Shout out to Coach Gary Dunn. You know Coach Dunn. Coach Gary Dunn at Cal, you offered him a scholarship.
Did you make that connection?
I did not, but I was up at the camp when they did it. And he went bonkers at the camp. And it's like, hey, this Jefferson Morgan kid, maybe there was a reason they won the conference last year and made the playoffs for the first time in however long.
Is he a receiver at the college level?
I think so, because he's so tall and long. But I think Fort Cherry, single A is probably my favorite classification. Fort Cherry, you have Matt Sig, Penn State commit, who's about to break every single record Terrell Pryor ever had. Against the Clarendon Bears. The Clarendon Bears would probably win 3A this year. They're that good.
Are you opposed to this 1 to 6A? Because I know when we were playing, we talk about this all the time. I hate the 1 to 6A. I hate it.
It's tough, but it does get fun because when you get into the playoffs, there are a lot more teams that make the playoffs. So it does make it a little bit spicier because I hated it for about 8 years. And then last year and then this year, it's starting to turn on me because we're in year 10 now.
Yeah.
Wow,
But
crazy.
Yeah, it's year 10 of it. And, it took me 8 years, but I was like, I think I'm starting to turn a little bit just because it gets more teams into the dance, That's my fun thing.
I think it creates a more level playing field for the higher, like Central, NA.
Yeah.
They should be in 6A.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be playing a small 4A school.
Right.
They should be playing Pine Richland, who's also
Correct.
dominating 5A.
They're moving up next year.
They
That
are.
would be fun. Yeah, a little, I don't know if that's breaking news yet, but they're moving up to North Allegheny and Central. It's going to be fun.
Wow.
Yeah, that is nice, though.
Yeah.
There's a couple of teams in 5A that I feel like could definitely give a lot of teams in 6A a run for their money.
Well, I 100% agree with that, Trey. And I mean, for instance, Pine Richland beat Central Catholic last year, who won the 6A championship. But here's the problem is when they created these 6 classes, the PIAA and the Whipio was like, okay, well, the really good 5A teams are just going to play up to 6A anyway. And they're not, because if you play 6A ball, now you got to go through all the private schools, and all the public schools are like, well, why would we want to go through Central Catholic and then St. Joe's Prep in the state championship? That makes no sense. So, I mean, the problem is the public and private. You don't see it much out here because there's only a couple private schools, but out in Philly,
It's a lot different.
it's a lot different out in Philly.
Who are the best teams in the state?
What's funny is you'll be able to see one.
Erie Cathedral?
Not so much Cathedral Prep anymore. LaSalle is coming to the Wolverina this Friday, actually, to face Central Catholic. I mean, this is probably the biggest week 0 game in a long time. This is probably going to be the state finals. LaSalle beat St. Joe's Prep last year, who won the state title in 6A, and then lost to them by a point in the semifinals of their league, or maybe in the finals of their league. So this could and this is LaSalle's best team in a long time. This could legitimately be a state final matchup.
They're playing that at
the Wolverina
at Woodland Hills.
Oh yeah.
Why aren't they playing that at Highmark?
Yeah, Highmark doesn't.
That's a great venue, and they're adding stands.
Adding to 15,000.
Yeah, that's huge.
I wish Highmark would get into football more. They kind of just are all in on that soccer, And I've talked to them about doing a high school game, like a week 0 showcase, and I mean they're not super excited about it. They want to be a soccer field.
Yeah, well, I guess that's why they're expanding.
Yeah,
soccer. Yeah. Damn, I got the whole high school. How's my Char Valley Colts going to be?
Char Valley's going to be okay. They do have a new head coach, but the new head coach hit the transfer portal. There's a transfer portal in high school too.
Everyone's doing it. Everyone's doing it, man. I'll be fucking singling out Char Valley right now. Kids got to get in a new district for reasons.
There was a kid from Carlington, Damian Holloway is his name. Awesome receiver. If I'm Duquesne and Robert Morris, I get they're waiting. But I think he's going to be an FCS kid. And those FCS D2 kids at the high school level, they win you football games,
Yeah, they do.
And he's now at Chartiers Valley. I don't know why he transferred, but
we're not brown paper bag,
Yeah, I don't think it was NIL or anything, but no, I'm excited to see what he does at CV because Carlington, I love the Carlington Cougars, but there's some teams in Western Pennsylvania. It's just
let me
rough.
Let me ask you this: since you're a big Central guy but you're the WPIAL Insider and you have love for all the high school football teams, who's your biggest rivalry? Who do you hate on the most?
Well, I will say this: I don't hate.
On the spot.
If you ask any single coach or fan, they will say that I hate their team the most. But I would say North Allegheny and. When I started Whipio Insider, I remember, I couldn't stand North Allegheny because they always beat us at Central Catholic Art. Like, we could never get past the Art Walker hump. But, so North Allegheny has a legitimate gripe, And I would probably say that is warranted. But, I try to show them as much love and attention as other schools.
Is that where it stems back to those days where NA was pounding Central? Because I know Central and NA, they hate each other.
Oh yeah.
I see it on Twitter. Like, it's good
rich
friend.
schools, man.
Yeah, and
I like that.
And, like NA, and people get mad when I say this, but North Allegheny, if you look at the classifications,
oh my goodness,
North Allegheny has doubled the enrollment of other 6A schools. Because 6A, it's however many students, I think it's like 500 some males,
right,
to infinity. In North Allegheny doubles other 6A teams. It's like, okay, well, Central can recruit, but is it fair North Allegheny has double the amount of players?
You can't hold that against them. It's just the district they're in.
Yeah, it's just the district. Yeah, and the problem, and it lies to the root of the problem, and this is why I love Western Pennsylvania high school football so much. There's too many small schools. We need mergers. Central Valley is the all-time winningest Whipio football program. They just started their team a little over a decade ago.
Are they really?
Yeah. Monaca and Center merged for Central Valley, and they became a powerhouse. Can you imagine if all these teams, you imagine if Clarendon and TJ merged?
They would never do it, though.
They would never do it. And everybody's so damn prideful of their high school and their alumni, and I don't blame them. If I was a small school, I'd be fighting tooth and nail. Well, my Catholic grade school closed, and I'm fighting tooth and nail. I'm like, who is closing St. Elizabeth, and why are we closing St. Elizabeth?
Graces, yeah.
So I get why people don't want their school to close, but if you look across the state, there's 1A and 2A football in Western Pennsylvania is unbelievable. Go to the other side of the state. It is the worst of the worst. There's only 7 teams.
That's a fact.
We have 40,
Yeah,
like.
That's kind of crazy. We do need some mergers.
I think co-ops are the answer. Hey, school A and school B, you play together. Form school C. A lot of schools are starting to do the co-ops, and it's been successful.
Would you call yourself the president of the Whipio? Seriously, are you? This is unfucking believable.
If I could be the Whipio executive director, there'd be a whole lot of changes coming. But I do think he does a decent job. But you can't please everybody. You're gonna make enemies, and unfortunately, he pleases the old timers. But you have to see both sides of every coin. I try to do so when I'm covering WPIAL Insider, but it's not easy. But there would be some changes if I was the WPIAL executive director.
What would be the first change?
My first change, and people are gonna hate this. Ooh, they're gonna hate this. Oh, my first change would be separating public and private. And
hell yeah,
people hate it.
Who cares?
I get it, and when Sarah Catholic went 1-10 last year, I didn't hear anybody complaining about public-private there. When those private schools are down, they're down. Seton LaSalle didn't win anything for 10, 11 years. They go 11-0 last year, and everybody's complaining they're a private school. Okay, well, you weren't complaining when you were killing them by 50 and they didn't have enrollment. So, but it is a legitimate gripe.
What private schools would be able to compete with Central at that point?
Erie Cathedral Prep. It's really, you have to look at it at a state level.
Level.
You have to look at it at a state level because there's not really many in Western Pennsylvania. So.
Wow. This guy's literally like a walking Whipio encyclopedia.
That's
fucking crazy.
People don't realize, they're like, oh, why'd you get out of college football? I love the game of football. And when it starts to be about the money, and I get it, players have got to get paid, whatever. Okay, I just like, what can I do to win a championship? I love the Cinderellas. I love figuring things out on the fly. I love the schools that have 4 losses in the season and make a freaking Cinderella run.
So
that's what gets me going.
So who are the couple teams that might be Cinderellas from 1A to 6A?
Oh, I like this. Okay. 1A is going to be tough because you not only have to go through Matt Sig and Fort Cherry, you have to go through the Clarendon Bears. And once again, I said Clarendon would probably win 3A this year. I'm making Clarendon my number 2 just because I picked against Matt Sig twice in my career and he's burned me twice. I was like, okay, I'm never picking against Matt Sig my entire career. Sorry, Clarendon, you might have, I think they had 9 players on my prospect list, which is unheard of for a single A school. No, I'm going with Fort Cherry and Matt Sig. I can't go against my guy. But you do have to go through both. But I'm going to say Bishop Canavan. Head coach Rod Steele is the new head coach there. I think he will be okay. Well, I think he's going to be more than okay. But this year, that first year is a foundation year. So I think he's going to be all right, and I think he's going to pull an upset or two. But
it's like Todd McShay. I think you're over it.
I can do this all day. At Greensburg Central Catholic, Samir Crosby, maybe the most dynamic player in the WPIAL. It's a shame that Matt Sig is a senior because Samir Crosby would be getting all these awards if Matt Sig was not doing what he's doing. So Samir Crosby is very good, and I like my Jeanette Jayhawks, Rock Chalk Jayhawk, baby. Head coach Tommy Pallone, you cut him open, he bleeds Jeanette blue and red, and he's one of my favorite coaches in Whipio. If you're like that, you're giving back to your own community, nothing better for me. So those are the guys I tend to root for. 2A, I'll give you one. Coach Brian Hansen in the South Allegheny Gladiators. The Gladiators.
Okay.
Give me Drew
South Allegheny.
I mean,
Jesse James.
Listen.
Drew,
Yeah,
let's go.
Jesse James, listen.
Let's go.
Coach Hansen is a top 5 coach in the WPIAL, and nobody knows who this guy is. He just goes to program after program. They're 0-9, 0-10 programs me and you have never heard of, and he turns them into perennial powers. If he was at a Pine Richland, or give him like a North Hills or something, I would love to see what he would do there.
What do you think makes a good high school football coach?
I think this is almost, and I think this gets lost in high school football, and it's almost like the Mike Tomlinism. If you have red paint, you paint the barn red. And I think high school coaches get away with that, or get away from that, where this is our offense and we're running that offense.
Get your best player the ball.
Yeah, get your best players the quarterback. Let him run wildcat and throw it a little bit, and see some things happening. So and Coach Hansen, he figures out ways to do it over and over again at these schools that nobody's ever heard of, and then he leaves the schools and they go 0-9 immediately. So they were undefeated for quite a while last year, and they're my number 2 pick in AA, but I like South Allegheny, man. They're fun. 2A football, though, I will say 1A is electric. 2A is probably the worst class.
What's Aliquippa playing in right now? 5A?
They're in 4A.
Ridiculous.
They're in 4A, and
ridiculous.
I don't think so as much, and here's why. Because I'm the Whipio Insider. So when Aliquippa moves up, guess what? I just get to poke the fires and just get engagement. Because they can win, they do win.
Crazy. Did you know that's crazy?
It's crazy what they're doing to them. But, on the flip side, it's also a little bit crazy when they're pounding AA schools by 100.
Who do they have this year? I know they always got someone going to Pitt or someone going
to Yale, quarterback.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Really, really good player. And, they have this kid, JJ Work. And, I will say this, and I'll say this on the pod. I feel comfortable enough saying this. There's a close friend of mine from Aliquippa. This guy, JJ Work, is a white kid, okay? Tough as nails, linebacker, and also running back. And somebody from Aliquippa, who I'm very close with, said, let me tell you this. Out here in Quip, we don't have white running backs, okay? Mm-hmm. This kid, that should tell you something. And I said,
that's a fact.
I said, okay, that makes sense to me. But, Quip is different.
Quip has a white running back?
Yeah. And so, that's what the coaches that are saying that, they're like, listen, we're from Quip. This is this kid's a real deal. So I said, okay. And you put on his tape, he's tough as nails. I think he's going to run for 1,500 yards this year.
Tough kid.
Yeah.
Oh,
JJ Ware. And he hits you like a truck.
Mm-hmm. What about the kid from Pine Richland, running back?
Which one?
Is he
Mac Miller?
Stocky dude?
Mac Miller. Yeah, he's
that's a great. His name's Mac Miller.
His name's Mac Lane Miller. Yep, Mac Miller. He parties on Fifth Ave all the time after beating Central.
Wow, I heard. You're such a dad. You're such a dad, dude. You're such a dick. I feel like I'm talking legit, like Todd McShay's in here.
Yeah,
and we're just asking him questions about the NFL draft.
I could do this. I live, breathe, and eat this. And people, they're like, oh, he doesn't do this. He doesn't watch tape. It's like, you think I don't watch tape? Or you?
How much tape? How much tape are you watching? How are you getting the tape? Is it just through your relationships that you're getting the tape from coaches?
I cannot disclose how I get my tape, but
you get it.
But I get it,
and you watch it. You're a tape junkie.
Football junkie. Oh yeah, no doubt. And I run a highlight show, and I'm trying to be like a little mini Fedco. Nice. It started to catch on a little bit late last year, but I do the top 11 games every single week, and not like the biggest games, the 11 best games in that box score. So if it's 35-34 and it's 2-7 teams going at it, mm-hmm. but the game was electric, I put that game in the highlight. There's 124 teams in the WPIAL. I did 118 teams of the 124. I'm going to try to get all 124 this year.
What about your podcast too? So you're trying to do the highlight show. Talk about your podcast too. Are you getting players on?
So not as much. That's probably something I should explore more. But Matt Fargo, Brad Everett, and we have this podcast, and I think we do it upright. I build a studio for it. Like I'm financially investing a lot of time, effort, and money into this thing to give the audience a grade A Whipio football content, and I think the audience is kind of appreciative. I mean, I tell people my views, they don't believe me. I'm like, you don't have to. I'm telling you right now. Here, it's about 40,000 views an episode, and they're like, well, how could that be? How many games are Friday nights? And there's thousands of people that go to those games. There's 60 games every Friday night, and average of 2,000 there in attendance. People care. People care. So, and we cover 1A through 6A. That's the biggest thing. We don't just talk the same talking points over and over. Oh, when does Pine play Central? When does Central play NA? No, we're talking about Jefferson, Morgan, and Cal fighting for the Tri-County South.
I'm going to be keeping up with Jefferson Morgan this year.
I'm too.
You watch Deacon DeHoet, and you'll be like, that is a bad dude.
Is he committed to Cal?
No, he's not. I wouldn't doubt if he does commit to Cal, but yeah, that's a kid. I put him like number 5 on my receiver list, and everybody's like, Whipio Insider's an idiot. So-and-so has 30 SEC offers. Okay. So-and-so with 30 SEC offers had 312 yards last year.
I know what you're talking about.
Deacon DeHoet had 1,220 touchdowns. I mean, if we're comparing apples to oranges, like, what are we doing? Like, Deacon deserves some shine, too. Like, I'm not saying he's a better player. I'm saying, hey, he deserves shine just as much as everybody else does. So.
How do you pick which games you go to per week? Because you think kids are like Whipio Insiders here.
I am employed by KDK Radio, so I do a pregame and postgame show there. So they kind of pick. I have a little bit of influence on where we go, but they kind of pick, and I show up and do the pregame and postgame, and it's a hell of a time.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So does this like passion for this level of football? Is it just because it's like raw? Raw football, like you were saying that you didn't love that
100%
money gets involved and all that.
When I was at Pitt, I was all in on college football, and I know the exact moment where my love started to die for it a little bit, and it was when Jordan Addison left Pitt. Because in my mind,
you were heartbroken. You're such a.
I wasn't heartbroken. I was effing furious. I was furious.
3 million reasons. You had 3 million reasons.
I don't give a shit what it is. Like
I'd be gone too.
Okay, that's fine. But you're a player. I'm in the personnel world where we're trying to build a team, build a championship, and your Biletnikoff receiver just leaves, and there's nothing you can do about it. So that's where I was like, this is some BS. Like, I don't like where this is going. And I'm not anti-player, but I'm very pro-personnel. So, like, for instance, Brandon Ayuk last year, Steelers were supposedly trying to trade for him. Niners signed him to this big old deal. Tears his ACL. When that gets reported on the radio, my first thought, and I'm probably wrong, and I'm fine admitting I'm wrong, but my first thought was, see, that's why you don't pay a 29-year-old receiver all this money. And the commentator's first thought was, that is why the players have to get the money. And then it's like, okay, well, I'm probably wrong on that, but I grew up in personnel. You're trying to win,
you're a piece of meat.
In a sense. A little bit,
like it's just you're a chess piece. You're a chess piece.
That's you're a chess piece.
You want a better chess piece. I understand right from that. I hate your comment. I hate that you commented.
That's why I said. That's why I said I'm probably wrong here. But when you're trying to build a championship roster, I don't give a shit about how much money you're making in 5 years. Sure. I'm trying to win right now.
It's true. It's true. The hard truth. But I'm pro player. I know he's pro player. I'm glad he got his money. Every dime of it. I think every player deserves every dime.
I love Karlo though, because Karlo's been the same person.
You're not gonna flip. And once again, this is one where I can. Hey, I'm probably wrong about this, but that's what. Like, I came from the personnel world. That's what it is. Like for guys to not get franchise tagged. I'm like, franchise tag's the best thing in the NFL right now. I get why the players hate it, but as a GM, it's like, yeah, you got to franchise these guys. That extends your Super Bowl window. So are you trying to win a championship or are you trying to get paid millions? I understand why players try to get paid millions. I'm trying to win a championship.
It's fair. It's fair. He comes from the personnel side, and it shows.
Yeah.
I'm not 100%. Not that that's a bad thing.
And if you polled every single personnel person, like in college and NFL, it's probably the same thing.
Yeah. You're right in a sense.
I'm not necessarily right, but there's a reason behind my thought process.
Yeah. No, I agree with it. I'm pro player, so fuck you.
Hey, I hope. Listen,
you guys get every dollar they get.
Okay, and I agree. Players should get every dollar they get, but at the same time, if you want to expand the game, you like players, and I think this gets a little bit finicky. You want to get as much money as you can. Okay, we got to be willing to go play in Mexico. You got to be willing to go play overseas. You know, it can't be. Yeah. You can't have it both ways. If you want to expand the game and make so much money, it's not easy. Nobody said this was easy. So.
I always said that I feel like you were going to be a GM one day. Mm-hmm. You just have the salary cap thing. You can understand the play, like you understand football.
If my wife wasn't in Pittsburgh and if I was never leaving Pittsburgh, I mean, I had college job offers to be GMs at Group of 5 schools. I mean, my phone used to ring off the hook. I wouldn't even tell Narduzzi. My bosses would be like, "Who do you know at these schools?" I'm like, dude, I just send my list out. And that's kind of what, and I'm not sending my list to get a better job elsewhere because I was never leaving Pitt. I'm sending my list out to legitimately help Western Pennsylvania players. And I think people saw the passion, how detailed it was. And that's how I got hired at Toledo. When I got hired at Toledo, the Duquesne football staff couldn't fucking believe I had this job at Toledo. I can remember some of the coaches being like, "Who do you know that? How did you get a job out of college?" Because in college football, that's unheard of. Yeah. You know, you have to intern or something. And I said, well, Jason Candle came to a prospect camp one time. You know, I just introduced myself. He said, give me a couple players in Western Pennsylvania that don't have any offers that I think should be on. I gave him Terry Swanson and Trayvon Mathis, Aliquippa and Woody High. Both of them didn't redshirt. I mean, they were winning like MAC Freshman of the Week like every other week.
And they were going crazy.
And he called me and said, whenever I'm a head coach, he was the offensive coordinator at the time. He said, whenever I'm head coach, I'm hiring your ass. I said, okay, here's my card. How long? He said, give me 5 years. I said, oh, shit. All right. Well, then 6 months later, Matt Campbell leaves for Iowa State. Yeah. And I got a call at midnight from Toledo, Ohio. And I looked at my roommate, Alex Edwards, if you remember. I said, what are the chances this is Jason Candle? He said, slim to none. I pick up the phone. Is this Karlo Zovko? Yeah, it is. Who's this? This is Jason Candle, head coach at the University of Toledo. I said, tell me when I'm there. I hadn't even graduated yet. You graduated yet?
Wow. I didn't know. I knew you. Obviously, I remember you taking the Toledo job. I didn't know that's how it happened.
Yeah, because I sent him 5 guys. He got 2 of them. And, I mean, they went bonkers. And, you know, Jason Candle was a legendary recruiter in Western Pennsylvania for a while. Yeah, you had a Toledo offer.
Yeah. That was one of my first offers.
Really?
Yeah, from Kansas.
Did you give him Trey?
Nah.
I don't think we would have crossed over.
Here's the thing, though. Karlo's been on me for a while.
It's been a while. It's been a while. Yeah. I know talent.
I think I remember him. Because what year were you coming out?
15.
Yeah.
I think I remember you talking about Tipton.
We went to a turkey bowl one time. Just me.
You and these turkey.
Me and a couple high school buddies. I mean, I had to be 18 or 19 at the time. And there's this little kid. You know, I don't want to say little, but you were 14, 15. You know.
Dicing them.
This is a story, bro.
Dicing everybody. But here's the problem. There were like 3 different turkey bowls going on. Well, my turkey bowl and Trey's kind of combined. And then Rod Rutherford, former Pitt quarterback, right?
Yeah.
He's with like all these dudes, like former NFL guys, former Cal or IUP guys, wherever I think he was at IUP. Like, he's with grown-ass men. And they're like, hey, you want to play a turkey bowl? And obviously we're not going to say no, but we're kind of looking around like, oh boy, this could get ugly quick. Well, I throw one up there to Mr. Tipton. Tipton goes over all of them and kind of comes down with it. And I saw Rod kind of look at him like pissed off, like this kid's not about to embarrass us. Well, unfortunately, Trey ran a post, and I threw
Karlo, tell the fucking truth.
I threw a hospital ball right there. right at him, and
He hit you.
Rod just crushed him.
He fucked my sternum up.
Crushed
That's
him.
how I crushed my sternum. Like, I had a fractured sternum because of Rod Rutherford.
I'll never.
But just because of Rod, because he kept talking shit.
Oh yeah, okay. So I throw it up to Trey. Trey comes down. All of a sudden, I'm like, "Yeah, where are you boys at? Where are you boys at?" And they kind of started looking like,
You're such an ass.
"Oh yeah," and I felt so bad because I still remember the hit vividly. Trey goes up and Rod just slammed him, and I was like,
I'm like 14.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
I mean, he was legitimately like a sophomore in high school.
And I was whooping ass. I ain't gonna.
Oh yeah, he was dicing him up.
So at that point, you went to Pitt and you're like,
No, he got there before I got the Pitt, but I used to tweet about Trey and Whipio Insider all the time.
That's my guy.
All the time.
Karlo got me right, bro.
Yeah, all the time. All the time.
damn,
Yeah.
you never tweeted about me back in those. Minato. During college. He told the coach I stunk.
They're full of it. They're full of it. I think I said something along the lines of, I don't know who that is.
Why didn't you try to push?
no.
Why didn't you try to push him to Duquesne? Like, yo, you want to receive for 2,000 yards and 20 touchdowns?
Oh yeah. Like I probably kind of was. I used to backdoor people to Duquesne all the time. It was very, very the gray area. And I'll tell you what, Youngstown State turned us in. And I had to meet with the compliance officer. They're like, what exactly do you do? Mind you, I'm a junior in college. They're like, what exactly do you do?
Dude,
And why are other teams turning Duquesne in for our recruiting? So I had to kind of break down what Whipio Insider was. I'm like, no, I'm not texting these kids anything. And I'm like, I'm just hammering them about being a dude. I'll tell you another one. I almost got Coach Schmidt in trouble. So the former, ask Coach Schmidt about this. Every once in a while, he'll send me a picture. He has the letterhead in his desk. Okay, and I'm gonna break some news for you on the Christian Kuntz podcast. This because people never knew how I did it. I used to get the WPIAL playoff brackets early, and I used to tweet them out on WPIO Insider. Now this was significant because
this is hysterical, dude.
ready. This is significant because back in the day, the playoff parents meeting was Monday night. So you had to go through an entire Monday practice, which is like the grueling practice, without knowing who your opponent was. So that's a big deal. So if I got them Sunday and tweeted out the brackets, well, now you get another 48 hours to game plan. So tweeted out the brackets, and the WPIO executive director, Mr. O'Malley, had who the hell is this WPIO Insider? Who does he think he is? He's ruining this. He's ruining that. He sent me a cease and desist, but he didn't know who I was. He didn't know my address. He didn't know anything. So he sent it to Jerry Schmidt at Duquesne football.
No, he didn't.
And Schmitty is friends with him. So Coach had to I'll always love Coach Schmidt. He had to kind of go to bed. He was probably like, dude, this kid's like a little twerp. I promise you don't need to sue this kid. But I had to talk to an attorney hey, is this I feel like this is very official and I could get in big financial trouble. And my attorney was like, did you hack into their website and steal their brackets? Because if so, yeah, you're in big fucking trouble. And I said, here's how I did it. You go on whipio.org/playoff brackets. Because, I was trying to predict the brackets. Well, I noticed it was playoff brackets /2012, playoff brackets /2011. I was like, I wonder if I just put 2014 in and it'll pop up. And it popped up. I was like, oh my God. I thought they just didn't, they didn't make the link live per se. They just,
it was the URL.
Correct. So that's how I got all the brackets and I tweeted them out. They accused me of hacking into their servers, doing all this crazy stuff. It was serious enough. I had to go to a lawyer and be like, I think I'm in major trouble here. And
dude, the WPIO Insider, you're a convict.
And Coach Schmidt, he would every once in a while he'll send me a picture and be like, just laughed at this again. and it's my cease and desist from the WPIAL.
That is ridiculous. Karlo. The love for high school football is crazy.
Cut me open, I bleed WPIAL football.
You do, and it's great. I want to talk a little bit about pro football, what we got going on. Preseason winding up. I know you have opinions on quarterbacks and our roster. Go ahead. Let's just hear it from you. I know you want me to ask you. Go ahead.
On the Steelers?
Yeah. Good.
Well, I'm
I
actually.
know you're very vocal on Twitter, and
Well, here's the problem.
I see your shit.
Here's the problem in Pittsburgh
I
media.
don't like it at all.
Every single media member agrees on everything. They're like, how can nobody divert from the norm?
What do you mean?
If every single person agrees on every single roster decision, every single, oh yeah, this guy should be starting. Oh, Aaron Rodgers is the greatest. Yeah. Like everybody's kind of afraid to say another opinion because you get a lot of backlash. I live off of backlash. It's wonderful. So
I think more so the writing's kind of on the wall when you're going into a third preseason game and in training camp. Like, I feel like some people don't understand when there's 90 guys there and you got to get down to 53.
Mm-hmm.
it's a dogfight.
I'd say 35 of them are already guaranteed.
Yeah.
Excuse me. They already know who they're taking. Like,
Yeah.
your guys that are paid,
Mm-hmm.
you guys that have whoever, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like the writing's on the wall when it gets to in preseason. That's why they don't have so many veered opinions.
Yeah. I would.
But you're just
Well, I like
controversy.
I like poking, number one, and if I think I'm correct on something, I'll gladly let you know. And 100 people could tell me I'm incorrect. I don't care. I'll at least have an argument as to why I think I'm correct.
So what's your prediction? What's your record prediction this year
For the Steelers? Well, I know that, for that 2 months there, nobody wanted Aaron Rodgers, which was just bonkers to me.
Bonkers.
Like, oh, no, let's just ride with Mason Rudolph and tank and get a draft pick. Okay, who wants to tank? Quarterbacks in the first round is about a 50-50 chance if they're any good or not. And now you're betting that a rookie quarterback is going to take you to the Super Bowl next year?
Yeah.
Because guess what? Whether people want to believe it or not, the Steelers right now are in a Super Bowl window. If you have Cam Hayward, TJ Watt, Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay, you have that defense, you are now in your Super Bowl window. So you better maximize it whatever you can. Oh, they let Justin Fields walk. They let Russell Wilson walk. Yeah, they upgraded the position. They got Aaron Rodgers. Like, so what? Aaron didn't want to sign and go through OTAs or whatever his reason was. Aaron gets to kind of decide what he wants to do in that situation. Yep. If you're in your window, and whether you want to like it or not, you're probably 2 or 3 year window. And guess what? That AFC, you got Josh Allen, you got Lamar Jackson, you got Patty Mahomes. You better
Joe Burrow.
Like, it's loaded. You better zig when everybody else zags, because that's what, until you draft a franchise quarterback, you better figure it out. So when people want to tank, losers tank. I can't believe the tank talk in the city of Pitt. Like, this is the city of champions.
Those tank talk?
That's all there was for 2 months.
About our team?
About buddy, the entire media. It was all the same until Aaron Rodgers signed. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, Steelers Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah.
No, you losers were just talking about tanking. I don't want to hear you flip your script. If you got that defense, and sure, it's the highest paid defense by a large margin, well, guess what? You better zig when everybody else zags, because unless you got a Joe Burrow who's 20-some years old and lighting up the world on fire, So I actually agree with what Tomlin is doing. Now, I'm not happy with how the Kenny Pickett thing fell out, but it is what it is at this point. But if you're banking on your defense, good. Bank on your defense. I agree with that. But, I mean...
The barn's red?
Barn's red? Yeah. Paint, or if you got red paint, paint the barn red.
Yeah.
I mean, so, no, I agree with what the Steelers are doing. But when I said tanking is for losers, the Steelers shouldn't tank, well, everybody was going at me, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, okay, do I know what I'm talking about now? Because now you're saying they're in a Super Bowl window now.
Yeah. Do you think, I don't even think tanking's a thing. Like, it's not worth it to tank.
Especially when you have TJ Watt and Cam Hayward.
Yeah, there's always still going to be guys that
I'm saying people say
fighting.
Carolina tank.
Yeah.
What player is going to
Number one, no player in their right mind would ever, because number one, the players are motivated by money.
Yeah, of course.
No, when you go out there and you're across that white line, you are giving your all because you want a bigger contract.
Yeah.
So tanking, I mean, unless you're starting a quarterback that is evidently inferior to another player, that's the only time you're really tanking.
Yeah.
But yeah, the city of champions and the media members talk about tanking. Oh, the Pens should tank. Well, the Pirates have been tanking for 20 years. Why hasn't the Pirates?
Yeah.
Here we go. We're going to get him going again on the fire. Yeah. Don't get him fucking on fire.
Here's what I'll say. Don't get me going about tank talk. I don't want to hear, you go up, if you're on the gridiron or you're on the diamond, wherever you're at, if you're not trying to win a championship, I don't even want to look at you. It's disgusting, the media members talking about tanking.
I like it.
In the city of champions.
Yeah.
Give me a freaking break.
That's what I was looking for. That's exactly what I was looking for. That's where I stopped the show right now. You're fine. I'm cutting you off. Season 2, episode,
Hey,
whatever. That
I got you guys a gift. I got you guys a
You
gift.
got us a gift.
I got you a gift.
Shout out Whipio Insider. Follow Whipio
Yeah,
Insider. You're
good guy.
obviously you want to learn about high school football. You need to follow somebody. What did you get us?
Here we go. Taka Beaver Falls, the best sauce you'll ever have for your wings or chicken. Proud sponsor of the Whipio Insider Show. The original Big Shot Bob's in Avalon and Stowe Rocks.
Wow.
Let me see.
Got you guys each a.
Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, my guy.
The
I
Taka
promise
Beaver
you,
Falls.
you will never have a better sauce in your life.
You
Guaranteed.
tearing your ass.
Guaranteed.
Your ass. Dang,
No, that's not true. They don't pay me a cent. I love Matt. Yep.
Unreal.
I gotta get some.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a little ass test right now.
Do a little taste.
Before we
What you got? What you got?
Let's do it.
There you go.
We'll have to get this on the pod more often right here.
Yeah. Maybe you'll have if I keep bringing gifts.
Yeah. What do we got?
What we tasting like?
He starts crying.
Oh.
Yeah.
Little bit of spice.
A little sweet.
Little
What up
sweet,
on it?
little bit of spice, a little bit of kick.
Ooh, kick for
Mhm.
Oh shit.
Yep, there you
But
go.
it's sweet when you first taste.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Shout out to the Whipio Insider, the Taka Beaver Falls sauce.
Thanks for having me, guys. On.
Yes.
This was awesome.
Like, share, subscribe. Tell the camera
Like, share, subscribe, and repost on it.
Thank you. And then do the- hey.
Share.
We're gonna do-